Hello everybody and good morning and welcome to another episode of Tech Motoring. On today's episode we have a service appointment for the Tesla Model 3 here. So we are going to get some work done today on the Tesla Model 3. I'll go over what we're getting done. I'll go over a couple things that we've had done in the past. If you're new to the channel, of course hit that subscribe button if you are, and stay tuned. Let's take a look at what the Model 3 performance is getting done today. Alright, well behind me you see my 2022 Tesla Model 3 performance. Now I've had this car for just about a year and a half now. I picked this up in December of 2022 as a demo car on the lot of the Charlotte, North Carolina showroom delivery center. And so I picked this car up. It was the demo car. I understood that there was probably some things wrong with the car. It only had like 900 and something miles on it though, so it was a pretty fresh demo as far as I was concerned. So really no concerns there, and I really haven't had many issues with the car since it was such a late build. I think this was like a summer 2022 build. And so the car has actually been pretty good over the year and a half that I've owned it. But anyway, let's turn you around. Let's go over some of the things that I've already had serviced on the car so you could kind of get an idea of what I've been through if you haven't seen any of the previous videos. And of course we'll talk about what I'm getting done this time. And of course, if you've experienced any of these issues or if you have any of these issues yourself, just post in the comments below. Let me see who else out there suffers from these same problems that I do with my Tesla Model 3 performance. So anyway, let's turn you around and take a look at the car. All right, so once again, as I was mentioning, 2022 Tesla Model 3 performance. Really love this car. This is my daily driver. Fantastic to drive. We've road tripped this car practically across the country from here in South Carolina all the way over to Colorado last year. Had a great time. And yeah, really love the car. The hardest thing about this car is getting service done, and I'll tell you why. Because in the state of South Carolina, we don't really have any service centers or delivery centers, which actually, I say that, but it looks like they just recently opened up a service center in Columbia, South Carolina, which is about 3 hours from where I live. So still not close. Charlotte's about 3.5 hours. So really not much of a difference between the Charlotte service center versus going to Columbia, but still cool that they finally opened up a service center in the state of South Carolina. It's not a delivery center. They can't sell the vehicles out of there, but they can at least service them, which is really cool. But anyway, we do have an at-home service today scheduled for this car, and we'll kind of go over my experience with the car so far and the things that I've, had issues with, just so you can kind of get an idea. But once again, about a year and a half of ownership with this car. So one of the issues I had from the very beginning, I noticed that the day I took delivery, unfortunately, I was over an hour away from the delivery center when I started noticing it, but I was getting a really bad wind noise right up here in this window. And once again, service centers being as far away as they are, it made it very difficult to get this serviced. I had the mobile techs come out and look at this like 2 or 3 times. They've gone through and had actually replaced this entire trim piece right here. That was a lot of work to, kind of get that all situated. And then that just did not fix the issue whatsoever. And so what ended up happening is, since we were driving out to Colorado, specifically Colorado Springs last year, I actually just scheduled the service appointment to get that fixed at the service center in Colorado. So I drove, 2/3 of the way across the country to get this window issue fixed. So it was kind of interesting, and I have a whole video about that. I'll post it up here if you're interested on that service appointment, which was really cool. And we also got our tires rotated while we were out there as well. So that was one of the issues we had with the car when we first bought it. No big deal, but it was fixed. And so far, it's been pretty good. I haven't had any issues through the winter or through the summer with any wind noise coming through this window. So that was nice to see. One of the other things that I had done to this car was this tail light here. So this tail light had gotten some water in it, some condensation. It actually started building up. Put a service ticket in about that. They came out, replaced it. Took them a couple tries. They came out with one, and it was actually a defective light. It actually started causing all sorts of weird things with my brake lights and rapidly flashing third brake light stuff. But they had to actually leave and grab some parts and come back and fix that. So that was kind of interesting. So yeah, so that was one of the things that I had to get done on this car as well. But other than that, really the car's been pretty good up until recently, where I finally identified where I've been getting this rattling sound. So if we open up this door here in the back seat, I am getting, which seems to be a pretty common issue with the seat back here. And let me see if I can shake it so you could hear it. And I don't know if you could hear it really good over the video, but this thing will shift and move and rotate when you're driving, and it just rattles against the, I assume, you know, the back part over here on this latch, and it just makes a heck of a noise when you're driving. And I'm pretty sure it is that back seat that's causing the issue, because it seems like it doesn't happen when it's folded down the seat. So they're going to come out, they're going to diagnose that, and then the other thing that we're getting done today is the rear spoiler. Now, this started happening to my rear spoiler probably about 5 or 6 months ago. I started getting this, I don't know what you would call this, like a delaminating or just a discoloring of it. You can actually feel the difference between the two. And this appears to happen if the car is left out in the sun a lot, which this car is not. This car is garage kept, as you can see. I keep it in my garage whenever I'm home. And there's also the problem that a lot of people are saying that you have to really coat this with stuff to keep this from happening, which this car was a demo car for roughly 6 months in Charlotte, so it's possible that because it sat outside for 6 months straight, they probably didn't do a good job of, you know, giving this a coating at all, that, you know, it probably started before I even got the car. But either way, it got worse under my ownership, and this is covered under the factory warranty, which is really nice to see. So they are going to be coming out to replace that. They are going to come out to look at the back seats, which they've quoted me a price on that, which I thought that would be covered under warranty, but we'll see what the ending result is of that is. I'll ask and see what the technician says. And then we're going to get our tires rotated again, because I think we're at 17,000 miles and so. So, you know, it's the second time we're getting the tires rotated, and this will probably be the last time, because they're probably going to need to be replaced sometime late this year or maybe early next year. And yeah, we'll kind of go from there. But anyway, that's where we're at right now. The technician should be here between 9 and 10 is what the estimate is, and it's not even 8 o'clock yet, so give them plenty of time to do their thing here in the garage, or plenty of room to do their thing here in the garage, get everything done that needs to be done, and hopefully we have a successful mobile service visit today. All right, well, the Tesla Tech is here. It's the same one that I've had a long time ago when I had some of my first initial mobile services done. But yeah, so she's really good. She's already diagnosed most of the issues within 5 minutes of being here. She's ripped my spoiler off the car. So she's getting everything situated right now. She's going to get the tire rotation done. So far, looking pretty good. And yeah, so we should be in good hands to get this all done. So we'll see how everything goes. And she said she might have to come back to do the seat wobbling sound issue there. She's already identified that. She says hopefully she can do that and not have to send me to a service center. But we'll just wait and see. So we'll go ahead, give her some space, let her do her thing. She'll get everything done that we need to get done, and then we'll be back on the road. All right, there goes my Tesla Tech. She is awesome. She's done some work on the car previously, really good at what she does, and got my tires rotated, so this is all done, which is awesome. We got the new carbon fiber spoiler on here now, as you can see. She basically said just leave the tape on as long as possible. Leave the tape on as long as possible, and she said leave it out in the sun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it out in the sun. That'll get the adhesive nice and tacky underneath there, so this way it'll stick. And she says I could take the tape off before I drive it the next time I go out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pull this out into the sun. Hopefully this tape doesn't get tacky to my car, but I could always clean that if I have to. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much good to go. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to take that back. I don't think I am going to bring this outside because, well, actually this tape is, yeah, it's not like, this is not like a duct tape. I thought it was like a duct tape, but it's not like a duct tape. That would be really bad. But yeah, so what we're going to do is I'm going to pull this out in the sun, get it all baked up real good. As far as the back seat, so she identified this issue really quickly. She was very much aware of it, but she, you know, basically did this, and she says, yeah, it's a bushing. that needs to be replaced, and she's going to have to order that, and then she will try to come back out. She says it's possible that they might make me go back into the dealer or into a service center to get that replaced. She says she could do it in about 15 minutes, but she says sometimes they force you to bring the car back into the service center to not have the mobile service people do it. All right, well, there we go. So that is the first part of this. So unfortunately, they couldn't fix the backseat rattling at the moment, but they will get to that eventually. So this video will continue until that is resolved. But tires are rotated, which is awesome. The rear spoiler has been replaced, and really cool that they have these little like pegs on the back that they use for lining up. It's just like an alignment tool that they use to line up the spoiler. So that was kind of interesting. But she literally just like went over to like the edge over here when she got here. She just went over here and just went rip and just like easily ripped it right off the car. Like didn't even put much effort into it. So obviously it wasn't sticking very well. It was sticking up in this corner there pretty good. This corner was even worse. She was able to just basically just pull on it a little bit and the adhesive just right off the car. So I probably would have lost this in the next 6 months had I not got it replaced. But that's where we are right now. That is what we're going to be waiting for is the bushings in the back seat. And then we'll see how that process goes as well. Worst case scenario, I'm going to have to go out to Columbia, South Carolina with their new service center to get this all done. So maybe a road trip out of this. All right, got the car back inside. It's been sitting out in the sun most of the day. So now we're going to go ahead and get this tape off here. As we can see, yeah, it's not sticking at all to the body of the car, which is good to see. We didn't want to get any residue on the paint. And yep, so we're going to go ahead and take this tape off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to coat this with something, I think, to try to protect it a little bit better. So let's jump into that and see what we can do. All right, went ahead, gave it a little coat here of this, ceramic liquid wax stuff. I don't know if this is the right stuff to use. If you guys are good at knowing what to put on, carbon fiber pieces like this, put in the comments below. Let me know what you guys use on this carbon fiber piece here and see if this is something that maybe I could do a better job of keeping up on. But other than that, it looks pretty good. Nice and, actually it's nice and taped down now at least. The corners were really, really bad. But yeah, looking pretty good. And hopefully we get the back seat situated in the near future. All right, everybody, well, welcome back. So it has been a solid almost 2 months since the initial time that they came out to work on the Model 3 Performance. In fact, that was the rear spoiler there. And so that has been on the car for almost 2 months now, and they have been putting off this at-home Tesla mobile service for a solid month and change at this point. So we are now at the end of June, or roughly the third week of June right now, where they're finally coming out again. So initially, my appointment was rescheduled in May on Memorial Day. That got canceled and it got pushed all the way to today, which is the 19th of June. So we are now almost a solid 2 months since we've started this process, and so they should be coming out today to do the backseat rattling piece, to fix that piece there today. So, so just to kind of recap, spoiler has been replaced on the back under warranty. I got my tires rotated last time they were here, so that's all been done. Now we are just waiting on that backseat bushing to be replaced, so this way it would stop rattling when we are driving the Model 3 Performance. So that's pretty much what we're waiting on right now. My appointment was scheduled between 12 and 4 today. They were supposed to be here around 12:45. She texted me, said, hey, I'm going to be a little late. All right, no big deal. I'm home anyway. So here it is, just about 1 o'clock now, and they should be coming down the street any moment. So yeah, we're just going to wait on them. Hopefully they will be here in a little bit and get this finally tied up with a bow. In the meantime, let's actually take a look at that rattle again, and I'll show you what I mean, just so in case I couldn't remember if I had already gotten this already. All right, so in the back seat of the Model 3 here, this seat particularly is the one that makes the rattling sound. So if I do this with it, you can probably hear it, a little thumping sound. And that gets very annoying when driving down the road. We seem to constantly hear that goo-goo-goo-goo-goo of the seat going back and forth. So that's what they'll be fixing today. Hopefully it's just an easy bushing issue. So we'll see what happens. All right, car has been all tidied up, so the back seat now is no longer making a lot of noise, as you can hear. So she replaced the bushing and said she put some, I think it was like some sort of tape on it to keep it silent, which was nice. So yeah, the car is all tidied up. We got the rear spoiler done, tires rotated, back seat now is going to be a lot quieter than it was. And I actually inquired about one other thing that she was able to knock out for me. This part of the bumper had always been sticking out since I bought the car, and I just asked her about it. I said, hey, you know, is this an easy fix? Because is that something that I can probably do on my own? And she goes, oh, hold on a second. Grabbed a couple tools, came over, and within a few minutes, she had the bumper now lined up properly with the body of the car, the fender. So yeah, everything's looking good, and the car is once again spruced up for the next road trip. All right, so there we go. So even though it did take us about 2 months to get the car fixed, it was all done through mobile service. Most of it was covered other than like the tire rotation, which was, I don't know, $60 or something like that. Really not too bad. And a couple dollars in labor for them to troubleshoot the back seat, which I thought would have been covered under warranty, but I don't know. You know, it wasn't a lot of money for me to really worry about. So the mobile technician came out like she always does, takes great care of the car, making sure it looks good. They always do the checking tire pressure stuff. They always make sure everything looks good on the car. So I really do appreciate Tesla mobile support. They really do a great job of keeping the cars going. It's on your schedule, which is really nice. So today I just kind of did like a work from home day, which was convenient for me. But if you do work a job and you leave a car in a parking lot, they will come out to the parking lot and they will do the work there as well. And so it's really cool to see this type of service that Tesla is offering. And yeah, it's interesting to see. And actually, most recently, I did have a mobile service tech come out for the Ford Mustang Mach-E. And if that's something you're interested in seeing too, I'll leave a link up here. But yeah, even Ford is now starting to do some mobile service tech, which is a pretty interesting thing. So maybe people are starting to catch on that this is the way you should be treating your customers moving forward. But anyway, I'd like to thank all of you for watching this episode. Wasn't an exciting one, but I thought it was pretty interesting to see all the stuff that the mobile techs can do, take care of, what was covered under warranty, what was not, and yeah, continue loving the 2022 Model 3 performance into the future. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you all on the next episode. And remember, welcome to the future. Welcome to Tech Motoring. We'll see you soon.